crew. Not my casting crew, but the casting crew that I work with. Hi from Switzerland, Ireland, Greece. Wow, hi! I don't know what time it is in those places. I hope that nobody's losing sleep over this because I'm going to post this later. So if you're like staying up at 2 a.m. to watch this, fret not. Go to bed. Wake up at a decent time. Come on to my profile and you can watch this there. Okay. What time is it? 5 o'clock! Hi! Welcome to Brian's Book Club. Today, my friends, we are talking about Neil Gaiman's Stardust. I figure what I'll do is I'll talk about sort of my opinion and my kind of take on the book. And then I'm calling 5 people today. This is going to be a long haul, guys. So once again, if it's 2 a.m. for you, go to bed. I'm talking to 3 people from Twitter, 1 person from Instagram. I have my notes right here on the back of my geography homework. And then we're going to be talking to Nikki from the Green Ribbon Club to talk about mental health during this strange time. And yeah, so my opinion. I think I kind of messed up because I read this other book, Annihilation, before reading this book. And I fell in love with Annihilation. Like, truly fell in love with it. I have it right here. Annihilation, okay? By Jeff Vandermeer. And I read it in one sitting. Like, did not breathe. It was just so good. It was like the definition of a page turner. For me, personally, my opinion, right? And then I read this book, and I liked this book. I enjoyed this book. I just didn't find it as, like, I didn't find myself completely lost in it, like, unable to put the book down, page turner vibe that I got from Annihilation, which I don't think that that's like what this book is meant to be. It's not meant to be this sort of like high intensity adventure tale. It's just like a light fairy tale that I feel like you can pick up and put down as you go. So it did what it was supposed to do, I think, but I don't need to read it again, if that makes sense. And a few people on here were saying that this was like their favorite book and they had read it before this, so I'd like to kind of dive into their mindsets. I just kind of felt, now hear me out for a hot second. This book is one of those things that it came out in 1997, right? So things have changed. I couldn't get past the fact that this was like Stockholm Syndrome. I'm looking at my mom right now because I'm like, I don't know if I should say this on the internet. I just can't get past the fact that this young woman who is a star, Yvonne, the star, falls from the sky and is super awesome. Like very like quick-witted, stubborn, like I love this girl. And Tristan, our main character, falls in love with Victoria and then goes off to get the star to bring it back to Victoria, who he doesn't really know but decides that he's in love with. Gets to the star and then realizes it's a human, but still puts a chain on her and says, like, you're coming with me regardless of the situation. I just couldn't get past it. So it was one of those things. I enjoyed the adventures that they went on. I enjoyed the story and the way that it was told. A lot of people talked about like the explicit nature of the sex that was depicted, and if you're not wanting spoilers, like, don't watch this. The death of the unicorn was really hard for me to read, and a lot of people kind of talked about that in their reviews. But yeah, I just felt like some pieces were missing as to why it was that they were in love in the end and why I should root for it. Because the star basically said, you saved my life, so now I'm in debt to you, and like I will never be able to not be in debt to you. So there comes a point where it's like, okay, so this woman's broken her leg, and he's still forcing her to walk on it. And then it's kind of like romanticized in the end of like, oh, and she still has a limp even after he's dead. And I'm like, yeah, she still has a limp because her dead husband forced her to walk on a broken leg. So anyways, I enjoyed the book. There were just some things that I couldn't quite get past as a young female. I don't know. There's just, yeah. But there were a lot of great things about it as well. I want to talk to, who do I want to talk to first? Oh yeah, okay, so I want to talk to this girl, Jazz, I believe is her name, because she kind of had similar opinions to mine, and you'll see throughout this live that I want to talk to people with similar opinions and differing opinions, and I find it interesting because my opinion isn't always, it's not right, it's an opinion, right? So nobody has to agree with my opinion. I like to hear other people's opinions. That's kind of the whole point of a book review. Okay, so I want to talk to Jazz, and let's see. I know somebody said that like the live thing is different now, but it doesn't look like it's that different. Okay, let's find her. Let's see. Why am I so bad at this? Jazz, are you calling in, please? Viewers. Waiting. Hi!
Hi.
How are
Hi. So I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. It's so nice to talk to you.
Yeah, same here.
Oh, that's my dog. Sorry. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, so I wanted to kind of talk to you about your opinion because you kind of wrote that you felt like the ending was a little anticlimactic, and so I just wanted you to kind of talk about your opinion for everybody to hear because I read it.
Yeah. That's right. No, so you were saying earlier about how strange it was that sorry, I'm a bit nervous, but like so yeah, basically, I in some ways I like that it was going like how you said something about the consent and the boundaries of like you know they realize that the star is a human, but he still wants to bring him back, bring her
Right.
back.
Yeah.
And and it was the same as well for the
Stormhold.
Stormhold.
Yeah.
Yeah, for them, and they were like, okay, we gotta get the star as well, and same for the witch queens.
Mhm.
I felt, and I was like, okay, I mean, it depicted like, okay, I think in a way I saw the connection of like how because she she's a girl, like it's sort of like women are to be won and
Mhm.
captured, and like I feel like that would be so different if maybe the star was like a male or something like that.
Completely right. And I
Yeah,
think like
yeah,
I have to wonder if the way that the author tried to kind of like step away from the like objectification of women was by making the witch a female, that it was like, oh, like it's not just men that are after this star, but then
yeah,
the witch
yeah,
only wants
exactly.
the star for her youth, which is like a classic sort of theme in like women in fairy tales, I feel like.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And with the whole thing towards the end, where you see the male and the female character sort of like start to, because you can see tension in the beginning of the book, and then slowly somehow they start to sort of get along, and
Hmm.
then towards the end, he sort of like doesn't go with Victoria, and suddenly he's with her, and and the whole idea that even within the fight as well, that the Stormhold and the Witch Queens, and with the two main characters, like it just didn't seem like there was much going on. It was too easy for them
Right, like
in
with
the
the
end.
well, like
Yeah,
her being in the rat, like him being a rat, was it? And then her just being like not seen, and then just like
yeah,
going past the witch, and it was just like, okay, like it felt like it would be this like
exactly.
big epic ending, and it just never happened.
Right. And then with the death of the one of the sons of the Stormhold, and and then uh the other one dies as well through the Witch Queen. I was just like, they got away so easy, I felt.
Right, right. And I have to wonder if that was the purpose of the writer, was like, I'm not going to make it this like classic sort of formula of what a fairy tale is, where there's this like big ending. It was just like, oh no, like everything's fine. But it
Yeah,
was kind of strange to read and like expecting something big to happen and then hitting the last page and being like, oh, okay.
yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I was just a bit. I expected a lot more
Mm-hmm.
from the book, and but I mean, I think it was interesting to see. Even though I think I was reading the comments of other people as well, and how they didn't really like Tristran, however you say his
I've
name.
seen people just say Tristan and like give up on it.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so and but I mean it was a bit interesting that at least at the end, you sort of see him, at least like telling Victoria that, oh, you should go and marry the person that you love. I mean,
Right.
even though thinking about it, he still got what he wanted in the end, which was the star.
Right. And it
But
was almost like she
yeah,
needed his permission to go and do what she was already planning on doing in the first place.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was
Yeah.
kind of I mean, I I can sort of see why, um, like there was a sort of a win at the end, but like I don't know. I expected so much more from it, and in a way, I think maybe the author was trying to say that the women are not prized to be won, but like it
But you
didn't really
still kind of
deliver to
put it in
me.
that way
Yeah,
regardless. Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but I mean, it was one of those things, and I thought that what you also said about the sex being explicit was also one of those things where it was like, oh, okay, so this is like a classic fairy tale, but then like you're chopping off the head of a unicorn and like
Yes.
they're like very descriptive of the sex, and it's just very like I can't piece it together. It's like, okay, so you take
Yeah.
all this time to describe like how Tristan was like made, but then like you don't exactly cover like what exactly formed him throughout the journey. Like there was a huge chunk of the journey that I felt like was just kind of like, and then they made it to the end and there was the wall. Like
Right, exactly. How exactly it was made, and then 17 years later, and yeah, about it was just so weird, like with the whole sex scenes in the book, because really you think of it as like a fairy tale, but it's like
which
just
I guess like
doesn't
things
really
like
go
Game
with
of
it.
Thrones are like technically fairy tales, so maybe people just like take that and run with it. I don't know.
Yeah. And I don't know, I just found it so funny before the death of one of the Stormhold's son, and he was like going for sort of like a round two, I guess, in
Mm.
the scene, and then he was killed off. So I don't know. I thought that part was quite funny, actually.
I like some of the humor was actually pretty spot on. Like I enjoyed some of the humor, like with him being gone for 6 months and like going on this huge journey to get to Wall, and then somebody just turning around being like, "No, you can't come in," and him just being like, oh, "Okay, I'll wait it out." It's just like,
Yeah,
what?
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you really flew in
exactly.
a flying pirate ship for this, and you just get turned away. So yeah, I
Yeah,
enjoyed the
yeah,
humor too.
yeah. Same, yeah.
Yeah. All right, well,
And
it was really great talking to you. I have a few other people to talk to, but thank you so much for sharing your opinion. I really loved
oh
reading it,
yeah.
and thank you for joining.
Thank you so much for having me, and
Yeah,
I really hope that everyone can stay safe in this timing, and
yeah,
I just hope you and your family are all good during this time.
yeah, absolutely. And I hope that you're doing well and staying safe as well, and staying in when you can.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Bye.
All right, bye.
These are my favorite things to do because everybody is so nice and so cool. Okay, let's see. Who else did I want to talk to? There is Poppy. Poppy was one of the first the descriptions. What am I trying to say? The first reviews that I read, and I was like, I need to talk to this human, because they kind of brought up a really interesting concept that was talking about that kind of like what I related to it was being in between two cultures and having to kind of decide. And she talked about Tristan neither being of like fairy or wall, and kind of how he felt that once towards the end of the novel when he went to Wall and was like, yeah, no, I think I'm done. So I wanted to talk to Poppy because they had really cool things to say. Let's see. Poppy, where are you at? I almost just started adding a filter to me. That's not what I meant to do. Let's see. Where are you at? Poppy? I feel like half of this is just me, like, looking at my screen, being like, I hope I can find you. Stop moving. Poppy, where are you? Are you in the comments? Can I find you here? Poppy? Poppy, where are you at? Poppy! Come here. Where are you at? What's happening? Poppy, are you trying to go live with me? Peace? Should I wait for Poppy and go on with somebody else? Okay, I can't find Poppy. Poppy. Okay, while I wait for Poppy, I will talk to, I think his name is Arrow, and this is particularly exciting because this is going to be our first male on Bryant's book club, which sounds dumb, but I've never gone live with a male on Bryant's book club. And so his review was actually really interesting, and a lot of people like really wanted this guy to be on Bryant's book club. Like, we're really like into it. So I of course wanted to bring him on because I feel like he now has a fan club. And so he kind of brought up a few interesting things. He was saying that this was his favorite book, or it was his favorite book. But he really liked the description of the creatures, and he actually really enjoyed the ending. Which I also really enjoyed the description of the creatures. So I want to talk to Arrow. I think that's how you say your name. Arrow. I keep trying to put a filter on my face instead of add somebody to the live. Just so you know, the people that are trying to, that I asked to go live with me, why is it not even coming up now? What's happening? Go away. Go away. Hi. What's happening? Arrow. Why is it not working, guys? Help. Help. I keep opening the freaking filter thing instead of the Am I? What's happening? Mom, I'm having a mental breakdown. I don't know how to, oh. Hey, Arrow, if you're in here, could you comment saying hello? And maybe I can add you manually from here, because this is painful. Why can't I just press the thing? Why? No. Should I end the live and start it again? The button's not working. Is my live being like overridden by like humans? Is that even possible? Help. Green Ribbon Club. Shout out Nikki. Nikki says everybody stop commenting except Arrow and Poppy. Please. It's Quincy. He did it. Would not be surprised. Hey, Bear Bear. This is very intense. Can you please? But see, if I end it and restart, then Jazz's thing is going to be gone, and that makes me sad because they were cool. Okay, fine. I'll end it, restart it. Everybody come back, please. Thanks. Is that what I'm supposed to do? Is that the right thing to do in this situation? I'm zen. I'm chill. I'm going to end this. I'm going to start it back up. This is a fail. Okay, I'll be right back. I hope you guys come back too. Okay, bye.